Besides acting as my tour guide, Tony Karp is also the lead restoration specialist on a Lincoln Standard aircraft that the shop has been restoring. As an example of the type of work they do, he showed me this wingtip from the Lincoln Standard, which had been repaired many times in the past, including the ribs, which had been replaced with wood from an old fruit crate. Here is the new wingtip that they manufactured and installed to replace the old damaged one. The Lincoln Standard has an Hispano-Suiza engine, which is also being totally restored. This is another Hispano-Suiza engine that they're using as a guide to help them in the restoration of their engine. Here are some of the pistons from the Lincoln's engine currently being restored. Jay Flanagan is one of the restoration specialists that I met, and he spent quite a bit of time going over with me the type of work he's been doing on the fuselage of the Lincoln Standard as well as on another project. Jay, in a former life, was a boat builder, and his woodworking skills have been invaluable in the work he's been doing in the restoration shop. One of the current projects underway in the shop is the restoration of a World War II Russian Ilyushin IL-2 Sturmovik plane, which was known as the Flying Tank. Here is the front half of the fuselage of the plane, which was basically manufactured all of steel as a way of affording armor protection to all the vital components. The back half of these airplanes were made virtually entirely out of wood, and here's where Jay's former boat building skills with woodworking have been proving to be invaluable, as the shop is making a completely new rear half for this airplane. In this view, not only can you see some of the contours that the wood has been molded into, but you can also see the mold that they made for the fuselage in the top right-hand corner of the fuselage in this view. And to make sure that they get things right with this restoration, they are working from the original plans, which are written in Russian. What you are looking at here is the underside of one of the wings of the Sturmovik. And here is the 23mm cannon that was used on the Sturmovik. I was so impressed with this plane that I have purchased a plastic scale kit so that I can model it. One of the truly significant preservation jobs that the hangar has going on right now is the preservation of flak bait. Flak bait is a Martin B-26 Ma Marauder built in World War II, and it was a survivor of over 200 flight missions, making it truly significant. What I found interesting in looking over the fuselage of this aircraft is you could see all the patches and repairs that it had sustained during its life, which shows that it really earned its name, flak bait. Here are the wings for flak bait, and like the rest of the aircraft, they're going to be preserved in their current state, showing all the wear and tear that the airplane encountered in its 200 missions. The National Air and Space Museum website has a lot of information about this aircraft for those that are interested in learning more. The original Air and Space Museum building in downtown Washington, D.C. is currently undergoing some renovations of its own, so some of the aircraft that are typically displayed there have been dispersed to other locations temporarily, including this Focke-Wulf 190 and this P-51 Mustang, which are out at Dulles. While they're out here, they're going through some minor preservation and tune-ups of their own. As I was completing my tour of the restoration shop, I was able to get these photos of a German V-2 rocket, which has been disassembled and is laying in the shop, waiting its turn for the craftsmen and craftswomen of this shop to do their magic on it. If you're ever in the Northern Virginia area, be sure and stop by the Air and Space Museum located out at Dulles Airport. The Restoration Hangar can be viewed from a balcony level, which gives you a bird's eye view of everything that's going on in the shop. Finally, I'd like to give personal thanks to Tony Karp and Jay Flanagan for all the time they spent with me while I was visiting the museum. I had a great time, and they are true craftsmen. Thank you very much.